It's time to take a look inside ECSU Mighty Vikings football. Welcome to Viking Coaches Show with Marcus Hilliard on WRVS 89.9.
Yes, Viking fans, another episode of Viking Coaches Show, and with me, as always, is the head coach of ECSU Mighty Vikings football, Marcus Hilliard. Coach Hilliard, senior day over at Bowie Stadium, a special time, just like homecoming the week before. A nice crowd on hand, but this time, seemed like there was more family members, more cousins, more parents. It was just a great time, and in addition to that, it was also the Viking Showcase or open house. Fine crowd on hand, but senior day, just as special to you, I'm sure, as it was to the seniors who walked out there.
Yeah, had 17 guys, man, that are going to be truly, truly missed. I think the biggest thing for me is was seeing their parents. They were proud. Every parent was like, "Thank you, Coach." Mm-hmm. You know, and that's something more. It's more than just football. How you've transformed them into becoming young men and being leaders in life, and I think. For me, that was big, man, just seeing those parents and just seeing the guys, you know, being appreciative of the opportunity that was provided for them here at Elizabeth City State. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's a bittersweet moment, man. You know, you want them to do well. You want them to play some good football. And now, you know, they got an opportunity. It's the last one. Mm-hmm. It's the last one, man. And I told them, man, they all have been a tremendous pleasure to coach and great guys for our program. So thankful for that. And now, of course, it was open house as well. So we had a lot of visitors, man. Just felt good. It was a great atmosphere on Saturday.
It really was. And when we talk about senior day, obviously you felt it on both sides as a student athlete and now as the head coach. Talk about the differences between the two. I mean, you felt it when you walk out there, your family up in the stands or your family down there with you when they walk out there to the field. And then as a coach, you're watching those seniors who have had a big impact on the program. They won't be here next season. So as you were saying, it's bittersweet. But just talk about the difference between senior day as a student athlete and senior day as the head coach.
Yeah, as a student athlete. They got more than I did. I don't remember us getting posters.
It was not big. And I could see, that was not the case.
I told them, I was like, man, I got shorter on my senior day. They congratulated us for being seniors, but we didn't get posters and flowers for our mom. And
yes.
So shout out to AD DeBose and them. They did a great job with that. But as a student athlete, man, you're just remembering all the moments. I still remember some of the moments and some of the lessons that my coaches that I had instilled in me. And, you know, you're just remembering all those things and just trying to take it all in. Mm-hmm. You know, I gave them opportunity to just give other guys, younger guys, wisdom. You know, just, you know, what is your legacy? What do you want to leave with the program? What can we look forward to later on down the road that you've kind of implemented in a program? So you're looking at all those things as a student athlete, as a head coach, though. You're looking at, man, we got to go out and get some guys. You know, we have to replace some good football players, and that's, you know, you're always a recruiter as a coach on this level, and that's what kind of went through my head. Like, man, we ain't gonna have him, but for me, it's like I want to send these guys out right. I want to do the right thing for them, and I want to be there for them, not only for football but in life. So those are the difference, man. And we just try to make them. You know, of course, the season, like I told them, it hadn't gone the way we had wanted to go, but just told them, man, you just gotta. Adversity is going to happen in life, you know, and this is just one small instance, and you got to be able to overcome it and see it through. So just knowing that they understand that, and from a head coach's standpoint, just seeing, like I said, the parents happy that, you know, Coach, thank you, you know, giving that thing. So for me, that was the moment for me.
He spoke about it, and we're going to speak on recruiting in a few moments, but these players who are seniors, who are walking out there for their final home game at Bowie Stadium, it is more than what they do on the field. As a head coach, you're walking into their homes, you're sitting down, talking with the parents, trying to get them comfortable with them arriving at ECSU. It's a big responsibility for you as a coach, because not only are you coaching them on the field, but you're coaching them in the game of life.
Yeah. I tell them all the time, man, you know, I'm responsible for their development. You know, I get them at 18, 19, and then they leave here, and I'm responsible for making sure they do the right things. A lot of the parents say, Coach, we're giving our baby to you, and we need you to raise them right. And that's what I try to do, and try to, like I tell them all the time, just giving them more. It's more than football. These are life lessons that you're going to give your kids, and hopefully I've done my part to help them understand that. And like I said, man, we got some great 17 of those guys, man. And the greatest thing, though, I told them is seeing them not only for their last game, but seeing them walk across that stage. And I'll be there for that.
Yes.
Some of those guys graduate here in the fall. The rest of them will graduate, whether it be next spring or next fall. But getting their degree, that's what it's about, man. When you playing and you're on this level, it's about getting your degree. And those guys will. We actually had one guy, almost was at a 4.0, man. I just told him just coming in, and he was one of our transfer guys. And him just doing everything. He faced a lot of adversity. He had death in the family, and just just was going through a rough patch, and he just appreciated us as a staff, me as a coach being there for him. And that's what it's about, man. Just seeing and knowing that you've had an impact on these young men's lives.
Yeah, and speaking of these young men, you're going to meet a whole lot more young men during the offseason. Obviously, with recruiting, you got to fill some of those spots up as much as you possibly can, but recruiting is just a whole different animal in 2024 and beyond. We're talking about not only recruiting the high school, but the portal. Speak a little bit about what it takes as a head coach and the coaching staff, and you're sitting here trying to scout players on the high school level. You're scouting them in the portal to see who can come in. It is a whole nother level now than recruiting used to be.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance of trying to get or build the program with the younger guys, and then bringing in those guys that are in the portal that fit your program. And nowadays, like we talked about before, you have the NILs, and you have certain things to entice guys to come to the program. For us in recruiting, man, we just look for guys that have character, that they may have had a situation at another school, but they come here and they fit what we do here at Elizabeth City, man. But it is tough. You have so many different schools in our area, just in our conference, going after the same athletes, and you oftentimes see those guys post, I got an offer from such university, and then you'll see us pop up. So for that, it's just recruiting them through, just selling the university. And we sell ourselves. We do a great job here of marketing the university. Of course, we have numerous buildings. It's a beautiful campus. We sell ourselves. And from a football standpoint, just understanding, what it takes to win. We're looking for guys who are winners. We want guys, of course, they got to meet the measurables of whatever position, but we want guys who win and work hard and know what it takes, and who don't see adversity as something like, oh man, and just quit. Somebody who can battle through adversity, and that's kind of what we look for in recruiting, man. And it will be tough to replace those 17 guys, because everybody, it's a competitive sport in recruiting. That's a sport. You gotta sell the program, and you gotta sell packages. As far as guys want now, like, well, how much money I'm gonna get? You see those things. So it's a sport, and I think we do a good job of it, but we gotta continue, and we got our work cut out for us now with 17 guys leaving and not coming back. But we got a good young group coming back, and they have experience this year. So we'll see how it goes. We'll hit it hard after this next game and be ready for the spring.
How much are you on the road as the head coach? I know you put a lot of responsibility on the assistant coaches and letting them go out there. Do they also help out with the recruiting, or is it more of you needing to kind of put your hands on every piece of the recruiting side of things?
Yeah, I'm just like an assistant coach when it comes to recruiting. I'm on the road with the guys. We each have, especially in North Carolina, we have our areas. I'm on the front lines. In this profession, at this level, recruiting is the lifeline of the program. So I need to meet parents. I need to be there. I'm doing home visits. I'm on the front lines. I'm going to houses, I'm going to schools, and I have a good relationship with a lot of the high school coaches. Just being from North Carolina, in every region that we touch. So yeah, I'm like the assistant coaches. We'll send those guys out, but I'm right out with them, and I enjoy it. I enjoy going to see and scout players and going to games and just establishing those relationships. And I think it's more personable when parents are able to see you, not just getting something from email or something in the mail. Hey, I met Coach Hilliard and I met the staff at Elizabeth City. So, yeah, I'm on the front lines with it, man, and can't wait to go out and do it all over again.
One of the questions I have not asked you is a deep dive into NIL, and I know it's probably a bigger situation in Division I than it is in Division II, but it's still there. And so when you talk about what happens now, it's almost like a lot of people say it's like pay for play. You pay these athletes to come to your school. Your personal thoughts on where NIL is right now and ways that we can make it a little bit better, not only for the coaching staffs and for the teams that have to kind of deal with this year in and year out, but even for the prospective players that are looking to get into this. Yeah.
That's a great question, man. Got a couple things. I think players do deserve to get paid. I'm not opposed to that, but I think it has to be some regulations. I think when they introduced the NIL whole ordeal, there were no regulations in place. I don't feel like players are employees. Yeah. I think just from a traditional standpoint, you get away. You play college to play college football, not to get paid to play college football. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not opposed to the players getting paid because now we understand. Even when I played, it was a business, but now it's a business. Mm-hmm. The schools are getting these billion-dollar contracts, media rights, and all of that, mm-hmm. and it's off the back of the players. So I do feel like they should get paid, but it has to be regulated, and there should have been rules in place. Ultimately, the NCAA should have known and knew that this was on the horizon. And I think they weren't prepared for what it has become. From a coach's standpoint, it could be a competitive disadvantages for the schools that don't have it. It's the have and have-nots. And I think a lot of coaches are seeing that. Like, we're having to pretty much have guarantees for you to come play at this university. You see a lot of coaches getting out of the game for that. Particularly on our level, though, you don't see it as much, but you do have some of that. You do have some guys that have some NILs that, the top level guys, they want that. From a D1 aspect, I know I talk to a lot of coaches. It's just who can you pay? It's kind of like building teams like free agent. It's the NFL, but it's in college. So I'm not a fan of that. I think it needs more regulation. I think we need some rules in place. I'm in agreement with players getting paid, but I think it needs to be a structure in place. Again, too, is no loyalty, because if the coach don't pay you now, I can go. I think it needs to be some structure with it where both sides benefit from a player standpoint and a coaching side. I think, everybody has to benefit from it, but it is what it is. It's just like coaching. You have to adjust to the times. You have to grow, and this is the era that we're in. Back in our day, it was not, it was, I was all for you. So this is what we're dealing with today. Yeah. And I think we need to have, we got to grow with the times, and we got to have rules and regulations in place. And once we are able to establish those things, I think, we'll be in a better spot. But I'm still out on it. So that's just my thoughts about it. We can go on about the NIL deal, but that's just kind of my thoughts about it.
Yeah, I agree in a lot of what you said, and I thank you for that. Coach, we haven't delved into last Saturday's game against Bowie State. We'll do that when we return, and we'll also get you all prepared for this Saturday's matchup with Bluefield State. All of that is coming up next here on Viking Coaches Show.
Do you have a question or comment for Coach Hilliard? Call into the show, 855-899-WRVS.
You're ready to become a scholar. It's time for you to earn your bachelor's or master's degree. At Elizabeth City State University, we're proud of our strong academic programs. We offer 28 bachelor degrees and 4 master's degrees. ECSU also offers flexible online courses to help you achieve your goals. Start the process today. Call 800-347-3278 or find us online at ecsu.edu.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Back here on Viking Coaches Show, this past Saturday, the ECSU Mighty Vikings welcomed Bowie State to Roebuck Stadium in the final of 3 straight home games for the Mighty Vikings. Bowie State coming in, and obviously after their difficult loss against Virginia Union, they were looking to get themselves a win. ECSU, again, looking to get off the skid. Coach, you talked a lot about homecoming and how difficult that was. It was a hard pill to swallow. For you, I want to kind of get an idea of how the team practice was leading up to Saturday's game, especially coming off that tough loss against Lincoln.
Man, practice is always good, man. We don't have any hangovers. You feel like you've practiced. We've changed. We tweak some things that we do in practice, but we never have an issue with practice. Like it's, the energy is there. We practice all the situations that may arise in the game. So, it's hard to gauge with our team, man. You just come to see on Saturday, and you get. I know they were I'm still disappointed about homecoming, man. It's tough, but I don't feel like it was any type of hangover from that. They wanted to come out and, do it for the seniors, do it for our seniors, man. And you can see how we came out. We got a big return, got a penalty, but then things happen. We get a fumble, and it's just like, man, I don't know, man. And like I say, we don't make excuses about it. Of course, we've had injuries, but it's a next man up mentality. You can't make any excuses about it. And from a practice standpoint, I just feel like we're doing what we need to do, and we just got to find a way to execute better. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It was senior day in Roebuck Stadium. The Bowie State Bulldogs got off to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter on the back of their running back, Michael Robinson. 3 touchdown runs. Coach, we were surprised, and I don't know how you all were feeling on the sideline, but I'll ask you now, how surprised were you that Robinson was so successful against Code Blues defense?
Well, we knew what Robinson could do. The week prior, he had 100. This was against Virginia Union.
Yes.
Had 183 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Correct.
So it wasn't going to be a surprise, and we knew kind of what the thing was. I was surprised. I was shocked. But, again, you got some younger guys in there that hadn't played, and it's tough when you have to take your lumps with a team like Bowie. It's always tough. You got the younger guys and you got them in position. They just, it's experience is the best teacher, and that's what we're dealing with right now, where we're having some younger guys play, and we're expecting them to make plays, and it's just not registering just yet. And just go back to the drum board, and you just keep grinding until it clicks for them. And it was definitely a surprise. Didn't see that coming. Just them able to get 21 on us like that, because we haven't played like that defensively for the year. But like I say, injuries and playing younger guys, and it's just kind of the hand we've been dealt, and we just got to be able to find a way to execute.
Yeah, I think that experience would have been very beneficial for us to have out there on the field on Saturday. But Robinson will go on 171 yards in that game total of the 262 that the Bulldogs were able to gain on the ground. Offensively, ECSU had 15 total first downs in the contest. So you look at the Vikings trying to move the ball down the field. Even with those first downs, it still felt like ECSU wasn't able to consistently move the ball the way you wanted it to. And we spoke last week about some of the offensive woes that the Vikings have had heading into Saturday's matchup against Bluefield State. how concerned are you and the coaching staff right now with the state of the team? We'll speak first offensively and then a little bit defensively because we have seen some uncharacteristic things from the defense recently.
Just not concerned. Just got to deal with, like we said, the injuries. Yeah. The injury bug has, of course, at this point of the season, it has hit the team, and now we just kind of found a way to plug in that next man mentality and do what they can do well. Yes. And I think that's kind of where we are from offense and defensive perspective. And that's the goal for the week, to send us out and get this win and get ready for next year. But just finding a way to, overcome all of that adversity. And that's what we've been meeting about, and, we'll put a plan together. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. I don't have a magical answer. It's just, we got to play the hand we've been dealt. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to continue to grind and make sure those guys are ready and be ready for Bluefield.
Yeah, we talked about it before. It's the difference with this team before Livingstone and then after Livingstone. It was a big difference. We had a lot of impact players who were injured. Zachariah Adams-Duxon showed some signs, especially in that second half. He had some big gains. I was excited to see him playing the way he is. And as we talked about it before, it seems like he's just getting himself back to where he needs to be, even though it's late in the season now. I believe he and Rashard Biggs will have a big impact on Saturday's game against Bluefield State. Your expectations for them and our running game going into Saturday, knowing that they have a lot of pride and they want to go out the right way?
Yeah, they ran the ball hard. I think at one point we were going towards the scoreboard, and this was our only scoring drive, but we gave Zeke the ball 4 straight times. I was like, we're going to be able to get a yard and give it to him, coach. I just told him, run the same play. And you're starting to see him understand that, hey, man, this is it. This is it, man. He's running very aggressive. I saw him. It was a run towards our sideline. I saw a little DB, like he just stiffed on him to the ground like on some Madden stuff. I was like, oh, man, I hate to be him. And it was just like, man, he is an aggressive runner. And then you add Biggs in there, and he just runs. He don't know anything else but to run down here.
Yeah, that bowling ball.
And it's just like you get that two-headed monster, man, and it's just glad I'm not out there. But I expect those guys to come and bring it right to Bluefield the same way. And, they want to send Zeke out. And even Seaborn, he gets some good runs for us as well. But I just expect all those guys to do as they've been doing all season. I just expect us to play well. Despite the injuries, despite everything, I expect those guys to be who they are. Yeah. And coming in Bluefield, of course, Zeke knows that it's his last one, and so I expect him to really have a big day against them.
Same here. I think it's going to be a big game for both of them in this game coming up on Saturday. Speaking at the quarterback position, Chase Williams, he was pressed all game long, had to use his legs a little more in this one, but he did have 5 sacks against them. But I'm sure he wants to finish off the season with the same mentality and get a victory for the fellas. Your conversations with Williams since Saturday's game and kind of where his mentality is heading into Saturday.
Just told him keep his head up. He's kind of thrown in to it, even from last game and this game. Just, keep your head up, do what you've been coached to do, and just make sure you're not putting us in a situation where it's detrimental that we can't get out of. And so that's the conversation that I've had with him. I still think he's still got some plays out there that he could make, but overall, just again with the hand we've been dealt and what he's been dealt with, I think he's came in and done what he could do. And so we'll continue to work on some of those things that he does well and continue to coach through what's not so good. And so I think for him, he understands, and this is just giving him an opportunity to kind of reinvent himself and as a player. So we believe in him. We believe in him, and going into this last game, just hopefully some of the things we've been coaching through for him, they kind of stick, and he kind of finally gets it and makes it work.
Yeah. Mighty Vikings have a 2-7 record heading into this Saturday's game, but we're looking to get a big win and get off this skid in West Virginia. I'll give you all the details about Saturday's matchup and get you prepared for that next here on Viking Coaches Show.
Get your tickets for ECSU football games online at ECSUVikings.com.
A hurricane watch is issued when there is a threat of hurricane conditions within a 24 to 36-hour period. During a hurricane watch, listen to a battery-operated radio or television for hurricane progress reports. If there is a hurricane warning, you may be advised to evacuate the area. Check the contents of your emergency supply kit and fill plastic water bottles with 1 gallon of fresh water per person per day. This has been a public service message from FEMA.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
This Saturday, the ECSU Mighty Vikings heading up to West Virginia to take on Bluefield State, 1-8 on the season, coming off of a 0-91 loss at Virginia Union. Coach, last year, 38-20 win at Roebuck against Bluefield State. Throw the records out. ECSU just wants to get this win, finish off the season the right way. Talk a little bit about what we're expecting from Bluefield State, a scrappy team that I know would like to get a win to finish the season off the right way too.
Yeah, the head coach, he actually was here with me. He was my DC for a couple months. So I know him well. Talked to him today, actually. But their team, I'm sure they're going to be looking to kind of brush that loss they had on Saturday off. And, just going up here to Bluefield is kind of different for us. This is something first time for me. Never been up to Bluefield. And for us, we're just looking to finish the season, man. As I told the guys, it's not the way we want, but you always remember your last one. And that's the thing I keep stressing to the guys. Let's finish the year off well, just as we did last year, being able to finish. And it helps going into the recruiting season. You won your last game, you got some momentum. And that's just been the message. Going up here, facing this team, they are scrappy, but if we do what we need to do, I'm sure we'll come out with a victory. Sounds good to me. The Mighty Vikings are leaving out from Elizabeth City on Friday for a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday against Bluefield State. All the coverage you need right there on the CIAA Sports Network. Coach, I want to turn my mic off a little bit, give you some time to talk to the Mighty Vikings. Again, difficult losses the past couple of games, but a chance to feel really good to finish off the season at Bluefield State. Yeah, we're going to finish it out. We got one against Bluefield. Definitely want to see all the Mighty Vikings there at that stadium, Mitchell Stadium in Bluefield, West Virginia, and we're going to get us some momentum going into next year and be ready to go. Yeah, I love it. Again, listeners, if you missed out on any parts of today's show, you want to catch up on past shows, just go to the WRVS 89.9 YouTube channel and listen anytime. Again, Coach Hilliard, thank you so much for this season and making this show happen. It's always a good time talking to you about Mighty Vikings football. Good luck this Saturday, and I know you and I will catch up soon. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.